All right, and welcome to the FPL USA Press Play Podcast. We're coming to you wherever you listen to your audio podcasts or on YouTube. We're looking to grow our audience there. If you're new here, I'm Bucks. I'm joined by my partner in crime and good friend Brian. Jen, say hi to our lovely listeners.
Partner in crime, you say, eh? I'm back, baby. I missed last week's episode. I probably could have used a little advice from good old Bucksy Bomb, but unfortunately, there are crimes against FPL Towers because I captained Erling Haaland this week after captaining Bruno last week. Can't get anything right this season. It's going to be a tough slog, but we're pretty stoked, Bucks. 5 free transfers just gifted to us underneath the Christmas tree. I just put my tree up last night. Baby's first Christmas.
Nice.
Got the ornaments on. I have a lot of sports-focused ornaments. I think I counted a dozen. So you'll love to see that up on the tree next to the new 65-inch Cyber Week TV that is mounted. Again, baby-proofing. So, yeah, I got a new little setup to ring in the festive fixtures and hopefully some FPL points to come.
Yeah, it's nice when we get some holiday cheer a little bit early this year. And thank you to the @official FPL game managers over there. The admin, so to speak, have really gone OP. They've gone 6-7, as the kids like to say. But they only dropped us 5 free transfers. AFCON is coming. Probably most engaged managers don't have 5 players going to AFCON. That being said, there have been a rash of midweek fixtures and some chaos caused by rotation. So the fixtures and the free transfers come at a really fine time for many. So without further ado, I think let's dive headfirst into the shallow end and go over how Game Week 15 treated us before we look ahead to AFCON and the Game Week 16 fixtures this coming weekend. Brian, for the first time in a long time this season, you are top of the totem pole. How'd Game Week 15 treat you?
Game Week 15 was extra special because I actually saw Black Wolf, Dan the Man in person, along with my good buddy Andy and Jamie Piggott, former FPL champion. We were all together in the Bay Area watching Leeds versus Liverpool, which at halftime, pretty fucking boring, 0-0. And then I worked off my hangover. I had a breakfast burrito, a couple cups of coffee, and a jolt to the system. And all of a sudden, 3-3 that match ended. So great match for a meetup. Super stoked to see the lads. And then the FPL team responded with a couple points as well. So I ended up on 64 points. My transfer
nice little golf clap.
Oh,
Green
yeah.
arrow.
Sure. I went Potts to Gordon. Not a bad upgrade to get a talented player who's on pens into your team. What does he do? Gets a fucking pen. So it's like the first time a transfer's gone right all season, it feels like. So we'll take those points. I still have Ndai. He got 8 points. And then O'Reilly was 6. And then, of course, Bruno Fernandes, 18 fucking pointer. He is now the top scoring midfielder, I believe, in the game. So a nice little run. But I still don't have Phil Foden. And thank goodness I have those 5 free transfers because he is just on an absolute bender. I mean, this guy is out on the Manchester club scene, just taking whatever he wants. He's giving it to whoever wants points. It is quite the scene to behold. So as a Foden non-owner, Bucks, I'm crying, but he'll be in my side soon. How did you fare this weekend, sir?
Yeah, less great. Foden on back of double-digit haul back to back to back. And listen, Anthony Gordon, Tony Two Gloves, he's coming in good for your team right away. Instant impact.
Tony Two Gloves.
I really, really am impressed with your team score. And I feel like you might be a little bit ahead of the transfer curve. When I look at my team, you are in a better position than I am, despite being, a couple million behind me in the ranks. But I'm not trying to give an underhanded compliment, despite my tenacity at giving it to you.
Yeah.
I
was
end
an
up on 40.
Compliment right to the fanny. I feel like
right to the fanny pack.
Get your ass out of here. You stink.
This week, that was certainly true. 49 points for my team. Kind of a gray dot, red arrow. It's like 100,000 places. Who cares? Anyway, my team is on a little bit of life support. I had Munoz not play, and of course, I'm carrying a squad with absolutely zero bench coverage. So whenever that happens, and many in the hashtag FPL community get some bench jam, I'm normally looking at 0 or 1
Oh my
pointers. So
goodness.
that's stung
Bucks,
me two or 3 weeks in a row now.
Bucks, the bench jam. People getting KDH 16-point auto sub right into their fucking starting 11.
Right to the kisser.
That is something that dreams are made of. Oh my goodness. So few people getting very lucky. And then of course, they concede a bunch of goals in that match too, right? They conceded two, or well, I guess only one goal in the end to Fulham. So 16-pointer and maybe a Senesi 8-pointer coming on.
There were a lot of hauls. I saw
impressive.
some managers had bench. I saw Andy Martin, the psycho himself. He benched Foden, so he gets Foden off the bench for Munoz. You can't write this. Can't make this up. Anyway, 49 points. It's kind of a treading water game week for me going in. I needed the 5 free transfers to reset, and I brought in, I made the move, kind of a sideways move, to be perfectly honest. I got Bruno in. I really wanted to bring Foden in, but I was kind of put off by the fact that I'm kind of expecting he's going to get rotated by Pep. But
He's got
Pep
to
has
at some
been
point.
very loyal to kind of the prize dog right now, which is Philly Foden.
I would say overall there hasn't been much rotation in Pep's Premier League sides. Like I was expecting maybe like Rand might come in. They paid 50 mil for him. He's been out in the cold, fucking doing nothing. O'Reilly continues to start. I'm like, well, I'm surely he's going to be rotated out at some point. Hasn't happened yet. Same thing for like a lot
Rand's
of the
going
starting
to
lineup.
AFCON, so it's going to be O'Reilly's spot to lose.
Yep.
Anyway,
But,
Red Hour for me, 49 points. Chin came good this week, 64 points. The game week average was 49 points. But we want to highlight a manager that was far from average. The manager of the game week in our Press Play Premiership, that is our podcast Global Mini League, goes to Sima Bergam. Sima Bergam. Not my finest pronunciation. I'm sorry, Sima. Their squad, Anfield of Dreams, lands on 87 points on the free hit. Live rank skyrockets into the top 40K overall.
Ooh.
Oh man, look at all these returns. It is a beautiful thing you're looking at up on screen. I'm just going to highlight the Man City duo, Gvardiol and Foden, both put up double-digit returns. Then Bruno G and Bruno Fernandes, the double Brunos, are doing work. And in defense, you're looking at a clean sweep of clean sheets. That is, that's far from the results I had in my squad, that's for sure.
Very impressive. Nice to nail the free hit. What is that? You said about 40 points above the average, so pretty nice haul there.
Yeah, 10 out of 11 returns in the starting 11. Or sorry, 9 out of 11. Holland Cap is kind of the real low point on that team, and that's a rare thing to say this season for sure.
All right. Thank you for joining us for our free-to-play mini league. We're excited to shout out those top managers, and then hopefully, Bucks, you and I might win one time the whole season. I'd love to see one of us on there one time. I'm hoping it's going to be one of our mystery free hit teams that soars to the top, but very...
I was top 5, I think,
much
once. That's probably as good as it's going to go.
Nice.
Based on the season.
Sure. I like it. All right. Well, the big news is AFCON is around the corner. So FPL Towers topped us off 5 frees. It's a beautiful thing. You can make 2 free transfers and still have 4 free transfers the next week. Some people are going to free hit 16 and look at having 5 free transfers going into game week 17. Lots of options here and lots of price changes. Good Lord. My team is sinking from a team value perspective, as many managers are taking advantage of these free transfers. They're not even waiting until Champions League matches are over. They're like, I don't give a flying bleep about those. I'm just ripping these transfers in, and I'll look at my team on Saturday. So, Bucks, I think for now, I really want to just kind of target, let's talk about some of the fixtures to come and who are the best assets to bring in with these valuable transfers that we now have. And then overall, what's your strategy? Are you looking to rip for free transfers, or are you going to, practice some patience and maybe try and, have these in your back pocket for a number of weeks ahead?
Yeah, so let me address the first things first, and I think that's words of wisdom. So what you need to know is that come game week 16, every manager in the FPL game will get 5 free transfers. That's whether you had 1, 0, 4. We're all topped up to the full amount of 5 free
I feel
transfers.
rich, baby. It's like the only good
Yeah,
thing to happen to me this
this
season.
is the first time I'll ever have 5 free transfers, and it's thanks to a fluke in the system. We've officially entered the matrix, so to speak. Now, why this is important is actually AFCON doesn't fully start for many of the Premier League players until game week 17. So this could be like a really nice last hurrah for players like Ndai from Everton or Mbomo from Manchester United, both popularly owned assets. And then in game week 17, that's kind of might be the appeal if you're on a free hit, is you can kind of kick the can one more game week to keep these players around and then address it kind of next week. That being said, and just to your point on the price changes, this has been the most insane stock market of FPL price changes I think I can ever remember in my 5-year career. I mean, Phil Foden, as a perfect example, he's set to rise for the 6th time tonight. He could have been gotten for like 7.8
Eight.
million, I think, before last game week. He's going to be probably 8.5 million by the time game week 16 rolls around. He's gone up. This is going to be a 6th price rise in 8 days. That is just straight out insanity. So the prices are moving, and team value is very core at this point in the season because we're almost at the end of the first half. So we're going to get topped up with all new chips come game week 20. So again, a team value of 105 million on wildcard 2 is going to look very different than when you're looking at a team value like mine, which is closer to like 101 million.
Yeah.
So that's why
I mean,
some early transfers are happening.
And it's just a big shout out to anybody who went early on Phil, because his stats were there. He was getting like a decent amount of chances, and it felt like he was really point dodging. And then everyone's like, is this going to be the same Foden from last year where he just fell off a cliff? And then those numbers just get complicated when you're also getting rotated. But instead, oh my God, 44 points in 3 game weeks in a row.
Insane.
And then to play 80, 90 minutes in each of those, I mean, he's in a purple patch among all the purplest of
He's
patches.
in the most crown royal purple.
I'm expecting to bring him
patches.
in though and break him immediately for this Crystal Palace away fixture. So
yeah,
but then West Ham at home, NFO away.
The fixtures are excellent. I mean, Man City are a team in form. They have their eyes on potentially, challenging for the title on multiple fronts.
Yeah, caught up a little bit this week with
they definitely did.
Arsenal taking an L to maybe potentially manager of the year so far, Unai Emery. I thought we were going to fucking ship him out. I thought we were going to ship him to some European country in the first 5 game weeks, and now this dude can't fucking miss. Good Lord, hotter than wasabi. 6, 7 matches, all W's, 3 points a match.
Hot. All right, crazy. I want to just address your question on strategy on how best to use the 5 free transfers. I think this is the most team-dependent and manager-dependent approach. Now, if you don't have any fires to put out in your team, I think be pragmatic, roll those transfers through December. Once we get to the new year, the January transfer window is going to open. There's going to be even more chaos, more rotation, and then you'll pretty much have 2 or 3 transfers in your pocket each and every game week if you just kind of use it like breadcrumbs. That being said, I've already used 2 of those 5 free transfers, and I have Munoz, who's now flagged. So I'm probably going to use at least 3 of those free transfers right away. And then my hope is that I'm going to be able to roll in 16, potentially use the triple captain in 17, and just kind of
let's go.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and chip my way through the next couple of game weeks without necessarily blowing all 5 free transfers. But again, I like to say that I'm more of a Bucks Wild manager. I'm all about the eye test. And so for my approach, using the free transfers is part of the fun of the game to shake it up. I know there are much more pragmatic and practical managers who are probably going to be using it more like an IV drip, 1 or 2 free transfers this week, then 1 next week, then 2 the week afterwards, and kind of just use the depth of their squad rather than those 5 free transfers. What bucket are you leaning towards, Brian?
Yeah, I'm definitely more of the drip feed for now. I still have my
You like
free
the
hit
slow
lift.
bottle, the slow nips right now?
Yeah, that's right. Just a little suckle, just
Oh,
very slow and steady. Last year, wow, that's on camera for the YouTube viewers. Sheesh.
yeah. Sorry about that,
Um,
everyone.
yeah, you got a little baby at home. You got the other things on your mind. Um, yeah, so like I already ripped 2 free transfers. I was thinking about free hitting in game week 16, but then like with these quadruple price rises and then other people free hitting, I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna free hit when a good team plays Wolves. And so now I'm like looking at free hit 18 and tripling up on a
Ooh,
random 1 week punt on Liverpool
I
attackers
like
if I
it.
can get that right. Yeah. I mean, I'm having such a bad season that I'm actually just playing for bounties in a couple of our cash leagues where like if you the high score of a random game week gets a decent prize. So like that's kind of what I'm aiming for instead of going with the masses that are free hitting in these other game weeks. So I would lean towards using like use 2 free transfers if you need to, but rolling those to other key moments. And then obviously you got to address like if you have AFCON players in your team, like Ivan Dye, he's somebody. Sar obviously is going. These are some key players. I mean, Sar's been injured, but um, you know,
Sala,
Bumo,
yeah.
Salah, Salah. You want to talk about Salah for a minute? Should we pause
Yeah,
here? He will be going to
let's put the
AFCON. He may
FPL.
never be coming back from Egypt. He may never come back again to
Why should he? Why
Liverpool.
should he?
So
He's been disgraced. He's
crazy,
been ran over, made to be the,
ransacked.
the problem child at the club, and he's an absolute legend. I was actually having a debate with one of my neighbors who's a hardcore Liverpool fan. And I was saying, ask him if Mo Salah is the greatest ever Liverpool player. And he said, his default was Stevie G, right? But he said,
Yeah,
the more I think about it, Mo Salah won more, scored more, delivered
yep.
in the key moments more. And so he actually turned my head to the idea that Salah, there is an argument that he is the greatest ever Liverpool player. And this is not a nothing club to say that about. I mean, in 8 years, he has 300 goal involvements. That is a mind-numbing tally. And listen, they re-signed him. They re-signed him just last summer. It's not like he's aging out. It's not like they didn't want him. They said they want him to be there. He signed the paperwork, and then they kind of blew up the team around him. So I really feel for Salah. I feel for Liverpool fans. They've lost Trent, then they lost Jota, and now it seems like they might lose Mo. That's a really brutal noodle for 3 of the most beloved players in modern times at Liverpool. So
I'm just like
I'm team
very
slot. I'm team
confused.
Salah over slot for sure. But I think this runs deeper than just the manager. I think it has to be coming from the leadership of the club that they're kind of they want a do over. They want a mulligan on signing a 30-plus-year-old player to such major wages, kind of breaking the club policy for Salah. And, I think his agent is agitating that he kind of shakes it up. And he's most likely going to get a move to Saudi Arabia and kind of, play out the rest of his career in irrelevancy. It's a dark day for Liverpool fans, for sure.
I'm just surprised that there's not a moment where obviously he's been underperforming. He's lost a step. He can't dribble past anybody. The team is dysfunctional. They don't have the
But he's getting
creativity of.
double teamed. I'm very
But
critical of
still,
Mo.
just saying,
But
like,
the system, the system
I'm building this
abandoned
up.
him.
I'm
Yeah,
building
the
this up to
system
say, like,
abandoned him.
based on all of those factors, sure, bench him for a game, bring him on for 30 minutes, like, do things that a normal manager
Totally.
does with players. There's a lot of matches. It just makes no sense to me that you reach this point in your relationship with a club legend to just fuck them off into the sun. Like I'm just very confused as like, all right, you're not playing well. Like let's get you a rest. You're old as shit. You're slowing down, but like we'll bring you back in. You play 70 minutes. Like you can sub them early. There's so many ways that they could have managed this better. So yeah, it's
Well, I
just
mean,
a bit
outside
confusing.
outside of Ekatike, he has the most goal involvements in that front three. So it could be one thing if it was just Mo Salah and it was like so clear. You watch the game, he's the problem. But they have Kanate, they have Kirkez. They have McAllister. They have Gakpo. They have Isak. I mean, none of those guys are carrying their weight right now. So it just seems like it's
Gakpo's
all
been
being
alright.
thrown at Salah's feet right now.
Yeah. I think Gakpo's been fine. He's been his standard. But anyway, whatever. At the same time, you live for the
Love to see
drama.
it. As a
You
rival,
live for the
yeah.
drama. And,
Blow it up, baby.
I can't wait to see all the posts about you'll never walk alone right to Saudi Arabia. So we'll fucking see how that plays out.
Now,
All
I
right,
do want to say it because I just said this, but I think, if there's ever a time to put a wager on Egypt to win AFCON, I mean, a
just goes
highly
ham.
motivated Mo Salah, come on.
Yeah, well.
We'll talk offline about that. How about that?
Man, what time are these matches? I'm not going to watch any of those matches.
No.
I'm running out of time.
We have
The
kids.
baby
We
has
have a
really
life.
thrown a wrench into the football watching as a first time dad as well. Like I don't know, my way through this parenthood thing, but Bucks, you got 3 kids. I don't know how you find time to watch any of these matches.
They're all very early in the morning, and my kids are already awake, so it kind of overlaps very nicely. Let's dive back into our regularly scheduled FPL chatter, and let's turn the page. We'll leave Game Week 15 in the dust, in the grave,
Peace.
as I would prefer
See
it,
ya.
and let's fast forward to Game Week 16. Pretty interesting slate of fixtures, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
It's
what
gonna
kind
be
of
a
horse hockey
Saturday.
do we have here, Bucks?
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, and then a bonus Monday fixture once again. So let's start with our regularly scheduled segment, the Game Week 16 matchups to target for FPL hauls.
Wait a second. United is playing for the 3rd straight Monday? No, that is such favorable bullshit.
Can you tell that they are the biggest fan base in the sport for the Premier League? Yeah, I think they're getting some favorable scheduling juice right now.
So. No midweek
Wolves at
fixtures.
Arsenal is the first one. The top versus the bottom. And, rather than breaking down this match in detail, I just think this would be a great time for our listeners to send kind notes, some holiday cheer to our co-host, Dan at FPL_Blackwolf. He is the number one Wolf supporter in the hashtag FPL USA community. He does a lot for the FPL community. And so I think any of our listeners, if we could get to 100 comments, kind words to Dan and the Wolves fans, let's counteract all the pain he is feeling as a Wolverhampton supporter this season as he watches his team heading 6 feet under back to the championship.
I did give him an extra big squeeze when I saw him in person, just to be like, there, buddy, it'll be okay. And
what
was
the sound of the sigh like? Was it like,
No, but he's actually he's in a good moment with his health, and so mentally he's just like, I'm just ready for this team to retool and go down the championship, and then it is what it is.
Sad.
Yeah,
it's sad.
But it's also
I watched that game.
He's one of the few people that
Manchester
support like a mid to low table team that like is diehard about them. So these are things that happen over the course of your fandom. So hopefully they'll get back up eventually. But this team is. He's like, we're just so shit. It's hard to even
and the
put into
ownership,
words.
It might get worse before it gets better. So Wolves at Arsenal. Arsenal are home. I think this is going to be an absolute drubbing. Anyone on free hit, priority should be to get triple up on Arsenal. Make sure to track who's playing and featuring in the UCL match, and then listen to press conferences. I would say that's the first box you want to check if you are going to be on free hit 13. You want to have an Arsenal triple up.
Yeah, tell me. Actually, we have an FPL community question.
Yeah, let's
later
save
on
that.
about
Let's save that.
The Arsenal lads. But tell me what a drubbing looks like. Are we taking old Yeller out back? 4-0. Yeah, that could be it. Really,
I think Manchester United didn't even. It could have been 6-1 in that one. They weren't quite on.
Cunha gets 1 or 2 deflections to go in. What was the shot total that they put up? And this was
a very lot to a very little.
And that was
Wolves not only home? They've conceded the most and they've scored the least. It's like a terrible situation right now.
It was cool to see Bellegarde score because literally 2 minutes before he scored, the announcers were slagging him off like, this man has only scored 4 goals in 82 appearances, and then he bangs a goal in. But
I think Wolves have talent. That's kind of the most concerning part. Strand Larson, They have
Oh my God.
Agbadu, Bellegarde, Arias. I mean, if they want to, they could really just cash out in January and fill some other Premier League teams' stockings for the rest of the season as they kind of look to parachute out of there.
Yeah, United posted 27 shots, 10 shots on
Jesus.
target, 8 big chances, underperformed their XG in that game. So a more clinical, surgical version of Arsenal could really ramp that up to 4 or 5 pretty easily. So we'll see what they do.
Plus at
But
home, I mean, I don't think they're
yep,
conceding. So it could be
yep,
scary days yet for Wolves
yeah.
fans. Next one, the Claret and Blue Derby. We got Aston Villa all the way up to third in the Premier League table after not scoring for the whole entire opening month of the season. They were the last
my goodness.
Big Six team to score a goal in the soccer, the footy.
It felt like they were the last team out of 20 teams to score like more than 3 goals. Like they were so stuck in the mud. It's crazy to see how they've finally pushed the right buttons to get this team up and running, and the huge win at the death, really. 95th, 96th minute against Arsenal. Like that's a huge blow.
Huge
Arsenal,
victory at home too. It's a
missing their
galvanizing
center
result.
backs.
And they play against West Ham away. Listen, Aston Villa have the momentum. West Ham, their home support has actually been kind of their home performance and the support has been worse than their road performance. So I favor the visitors. I think they are going to get the result. Probably wouldn't have more than one Villa player if I was on free hit. And I don't think they're a priority ad, but they're just ticking along really nicely. They're getting a lot of contributions from a lot of different places. Yeah.
Matty Cash, the one hauling ass so far. 3 goals.
3 goals. Yep. Last but not least, Fulham at Burnley. You know, we've said it for a couple weeks now. Wolves and Burnley are the teams to target. Doesn't matter if they're home or on the road. And Fulham have the nicest next 3 fixtures, almost that you could dream up. They play Burnley, then they play Forest, and then I think they play West Ham. Is that right? So 3 real delicious fixtures.
Yeah, it's a nice short-term run. So if you have those extra transfers and you want to take
free
a punt
transfers,
on
baby.
Jimenez, for example, he could be your third striker. He's cheap. I don't know. He's a sub 5.5, isn't he? And then somebody like Harry Wilson, just that team goal and that finish,
so sick,
scintillating, saucy. Our guy Eamon, he had to change his pants.
He's a traitor. He's a traitor. Let's not say nice things.
Whoa, Bucks. You're talking about a season ticket holder and a man
Chelsea
who hooked
fan
me up in London.
Fulham supporter, just because the price of tickets. God, that inflation is hitting us in the West pretty bad.
Yeah. I will defend Eamon. He's now a
diehard Fulham supporter.
Yeah.
So I can't knock him too hard.
He's not going to listen to this probably, but he's got a little something coming his
what
way.
An asshole.
He's got a little something coming his way under the Christmas tree from the Chin family. So we'll see what that turns out to be later on.
The hostess with the mostess.
If you're on free hit, I like Harry Wilson would be a fun player to own as your like 7th attacker. I think that'd be a good shout.
I put together a very quick kind of, just a hypothetical free hit. I think I would have a triple up on Fulham and a triple up on Arsenal.
Let's just go there. Let's just transition there, Bucks.
Perfect.
How many minutes have we got left here? I know you got a hard stop, so maybe we should accelerate this. Let's take a look and put on screen
Let's get into overdrive.
Hit 4-4-2 draft we got here. Let's throw it up. All right, it's on screen. Read it through from front to back.
Yeah, so I really think that this is a team that I could get to pretty easily. Of course, I've already used my free hit chip, so this is more kind of food for thought for anyone who doesn't have a soaring team value. Starting in the forward line, you could go Guy, you can go Raul Jimenez, but I've chosen to go just with the 2, Haaland and Thiago. They both have plus favorable fixtures this game week. Haaland's, he's due to score and get a haul again. So kind of those 2 pick themselves, and then it's really.
We'll talk about captaincy
patience.
Later, patience. I am off of Haaland. I think Haaland's ceiling this game week very low versus three center backs. I think it's very low.
The guy scores against everyone, so he'll come good once again, even if he doesn't have the armband on.
Fucking Leeds when I triple captain him.
All right. You're bitter.
This guy.
In the midfield, moving on, the 4 starters I would have Dango, Atara. Shad is out. For yellow card suspension, Dango goes to AFCON in 1 week. He plays against Leeds at home. Kind of a great way to say bye-bye to the home supporters is to get a double-digit return. Love that. He's number 1 in the league for drawing penalties, and so he pairs really nicely with Thiago, as I found out on my free hit. Next to him, I got Harry Wilson. Next to them, I have Foden and Bruno Fernandes. They just have the high ceiling. They could double-digit haul when they're in form against anybody, and so I'm trusting them. In the defense, this is kind of where I get a little wacky and I show my Bucks wild nature. I've gone double Fulham defense and triple Arsenal defense. So I have Anderson, he's been a DEFCON monster, and Tete, kind of a little more of a rogue pick against the crowd. And then I have triple Arsenal, Raya, Timber, and Hincapie. So that would be my free hit. 4-4-2. Keep it simple, stupid. Target the bad teams.
Interesting, Bucks. Yeah, part of me kind of likes maybe going with Bumo. One last shout before he goes to AFCON, and he's a player that could do some damage. Bournemouth playing very open games, except against Chelsea, getting a crazy 0-0 draw there. As a Semenyo owner, I was like,
Evan Nielsen is the best defense against Semenyo points.
I know.
That's for sure.
There's
start
been like
Krupi Jr. Semenyo's going to start hauling again.
My goodness. But yeah, overall, I like it. I think, these are players you're not going to want to carry for a long time. Dango, Wilson, double up in Fulham defense. I think I would probably look to, it's interesting, right? Do you, your strategy on free hit to always triple up on the matches that you think are going to go one specific way, or would you rather spread it out and try and bang?
Yeah, and this is something we talked about on my free hit. I initially had triple Villa defense, and anyone who went there was flying, because you walk out of that one fixture with like 20 points, and that's the easiest way to kind of really mega charge your points tally. Of course, if it goes wrong, then they end up getting the same amount of points as most other players in your team, like 2 to 4 points.
Okay. I think I would also probably shout out, Liverpool asset. I think on free hit, especially if you could get like Ekatike or somebody interesting, because
I like that.
We've seen
I
Brighton.
think Jimenez.
They like Brighton give up a decent amount of chances and goals. So I think that could be actually like a 3-2 type of match. Like I don't see either team really starring in defense. I know Liverpool kept a clean sheet today, 1-0 in Champions League, but I feel like Liverpool-Brighton, there's a couple goals in that one. So I would be looking maybe for just a couple other differential picks from matches that we're not entirely sure are one way or the other, but could have lots of goals.
Yeah, I have a quick honorable mention list that I can just run through. I think Raul Jimenez is a great shout. I think, Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa, Matty Cash from Aston Villa. Then you look deeper cut. I really like the idea of maybe if you want to swerve Raya and bring in Saka as your third free hit Arsenal player, or even Mikel Merino as your third Arsenal player, then you go with Emi Martinez in goal. He should be fully recovered by the time that match comes around. So again, there's lots of ways to chop it up, but I would definitely want to have triple Arsenal and triple Fulham when I go into my free hit 16.
Yeah, thinking about the triple up on free hit for Arsenal, I'd be going Saka, and then I would go Mikel Merino, and then Benny Blanco. That's the triple up.
Ooh, spicy.
Ben White shout. Okay. Yep. All right. We've spent a lot of time on this. Let's move it on to our section where we talk about the mailbag.
Community questions. Let's dive into that mailbag, Brian. We got mail.
And the first one is from our friend, the Count of Tuscany at FPL_Dallas. He is looking at just busting his load.
Sheesh.
Oh my goodness. We're looking at 4 free transfers here. He's about to do Bumo, Welbeck, Saliba, and Thiaw. 2, Bruno, Ekatike, Kanza, and Hincapie.
Yeah,
that's
easy.
how you pronounce it.
Lovely.
Interesting. Are you of the notion that Hincapie is first choice with both Saliba and Gabriel out? So he'll get at least a run of like 3 or 4 game weeks, at least, is what we're thinking.
Yeah, I think probably through the new year for Gabriel specifically. Okay. And, Mascara was more of the replacement for Saliba. Saliba's still out, but that's more short term.
Yep.
I guess I love the concept of this move. I think if I was being penny wise, I would probably skip Tiao to Hincapie. I would go just Saliba to Hincapie and kind of roll 2 more free transfers. So I would do 3 of the moves. I would do Mbomo, Welbeck, and Saliba, and just kind of, wash your hands. You're not going to get everyone in every game week, and you don't need
Yeah,
Konsa.
screenshot here is exact money, so I think he needs to fund that to do so.
Okay.
So I think he'll get priced out of this by the time that he actually tries to make the move. But there's obviously other ways that he could make this move. I think Ekatike is an interesting shout for a couple weeks. We see Gakpo's injured. He's been the one scoring the goals for Liverpool. Looks very, very comfortable. More comfortable than I thought he would look in a Liverpool shirt.
He looks excellent. Yeah.
And I would say, Dallas is a Liverpool fan, so get a good player in that's going to score you some points and hopefully root on your team who's going through a lot of turmoil. So I like that. All right. Let's go to the next question here. From @myCayman wants to know, I'm especially weighing up free hit 16 as he's not sure that Saka's minutes will be great. So we have Champions League football this week. We should get a good eye on who's rested, who's rotated, especially from those key teams. At the same time, Saka is very highly owned. If he's going to be benched,
And
there's
very
still an
expensive.
opportunity, and very expensive. There's an opportunity that free hit. You can swerve Saka where schmucks like you and me might be stuck with him for this game week. And then all of a sudden you're going with somebody else like an Eze or whoever's going to step in, maybe even Medweke. Who knows? Like, I feel like any player on the pitch for Arsenal could score against Wolves. So that's actually could be even more advantageous to you, Mr. Matt. So, yeah, we went through a free hit earlier, but I would be interested to see what happens in Champions League. Keep an eye out.
Saka got his rest, though. I'm not so concerned about it. I think he's not going to be a 90-minute player on the regular anymore. The Arsenal recruitment and their depth will make certain of that. But, 75 minutes as a starter, I actually think the opposite. I think he's very much a potential captaincy option in game week 16. I would not be...
Against Wolves, man only needs 45 minutes. That could be at home. Oof, this could be
I think
surgical
even
really
like
quick.
Rice or Marino or Saka, the one thing we know right now, Trossard seems to be injured, and Gyökeres is kind of still finding his footing coming back from injury. So I feel like Marino and Eze, those guys are locks to start. So maybe if you want to play it safe, those guys are where you should invest. But I feel like Rice and Saka are going to start as well. So I think you can't go wrong if you get a starting guy from Arsenal in this match.
All right.
You tend to agree?
Next up. Yeah. Anybody from Arsenal. They're gonna crush it.
Fuck yeah.
They're gonna
Suck
crush
it,
it.
Dan.
They're gonna crush it. I mean, that's why I was like, I'm gonna maybe free hit in game week 18 randomly just to see if I can spike Liverpool scoring 4 or 5 goals at home versus Wolves. So yeah, that's a good strategy. Next up, we have question from @FPL Paz. He wants to know what to do with fraud Minte. I mean, my thoughts on any asset from Brighton. And I was surprised. I was hanging out with Jamie Pickett, former FPL champion, the only champion ever from the US of A. And he brought both Minte and Welbeck in this game week, and he suffered dearly. Not good to see in the point column. So
he's Van cheap. Heck is the only Brighton guy that's delivering, which is very weird. I think Minte to Wilson,
he's been killing too.
Minte to Wilson could be one of the most obvious kind of swaps. Kind of goes from strong fixtures to strong fixtures. And one thing about Wilson that's important to note is that his direct competition is going off to AFCON. So he has been more of a rotation risk in seasons past, but I think Chuck Womeze, who's the young talent that scored twice against Man City, and Eamon, Fulham fans will know better than me, but his direct competition are going off to AFCON. So I feel really confident Wilson is going to start and feature heavily in those next 3 matches.
Cool.
Yeah,
I mean, Brighton play Liverpool, Sunderland, Arsenal in the next 3. So
yeah.
anything
worse
could happen
than
in those matches. Like, quite frankly, like other than the Arsenal match, like Liverpool, Sunderland, they could score goals in those games. But it's a £6 million asset. So like, I don't know. People are like get upset with some of these players that are anybody like under 8 million. I'm like, whatever. Like they're gonna haul one in every four
sometimes.
matches.
Yeah.
Like it's not a priority sell for me. But if you want to use some of those free transfers, I do like the short term 3-game week punt on Harry Wilson.
All right, we might have a second FPL
upgrade.
Go ahead.
I like Soboslai as well. He took a penalty today. Took a penalty, playing right wing potentially, playing a lot. He's been the player of the year for Liverpool. So just somebody
That's
else.
not
He's like
saying much.
6.5. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about
Talent is
potentially
there.
the second FPL champion coming out of hashtag FPL USA.
That's right.
I don't want to count our stars just yet, but FPL_Conte is having a banger of an opening half of the season. I think he's all the way up in the top 1K overall. His question is,
insane.
Who would be your Fulham punt, if any? And then he wants to know the best Arsenal triple up right now. So let's start with the second question. I think that's a little bit harder to answer. I think we've given you the Fulham punt. We like Wilson. Kind of Raul Jimenez would be kind of the secondary punt for me. Who's your Arsenal triple up, Brian?
Saka, Timber, and then I'm very unsure. I'm very unsure.
Pleading the fifth.
It depends if you are going to use multiple transfers in this position, right? Like I think Rice he had an illness, so if he gets over that, then I think he's probably a little bit
fine.
The surefire pick for the foreseeable future versus like Kimpembe and like some of the defenders that are rotating in because other people are hurt. Eze is splitting minutes with Odegaard, so I don't like that. So I probably would lean Declan Rice, which is kind of crazy to think, but given the amount of space that Wolves leave, he's on a couple set pieces. He can be crashing into the box at the end of a build-up play and bang a goal. So, I'll go Declan Rice with number 3. What about you? What's your top 3?
Yeah, I'm pretty much there as well. If it's the long term, I think Saka, Rice, and Timber is the right answer. I think if you're looking to be spicy on a free hit and you just need him for one game week, really drill into who's starting in UCL and pick their competition for game week 16 against Wolves. So, you mentioned Ben White. I love that shout. If he gets rested midweek, he could play right back. He could play center back. I think he could return from either of those positions. Miles Lewis-Skelly could be like the ultimate differential gem at like 0.1 ownership. Could get a clean sheet and an assist pretty easily against Wolves. So I think there's going to be lots of picks that present themselves from Arsenal. I do think that if you're looking for the optimal triple up, Raya would not be involved in that. I think that's the one thing we do know. I would want to have 3 outfield players.
Yep. In the meantime, just stuck with...
We're just stuck there with them.
Raya. Yep. All right.
Who's next?
Next up, we have a question from Joe Waldrop. He wants to know what players will benefit the most from the absentee teammates. Is there a bargain sub that will make an impact? I mean, originally when AFCON flew off the cuff, I was thinking that the likes of Frimpong was going to be like the right wing replacement for Salah. But that dude's made out of glass and he hasn't played more than 90 minutes in a Liverpool kit. So interesting question here. I think like number one, if you want a defender with Ran out of the side, I really do like the O'Reilly shout. Like he really looks like a player that they wasted money on Ran because he's ready. He's a good figure in the air as well. I think he's been like a little bit
huge,
spongy, springy in the box, and that's a player that with Ran probably going for Algeria, I believe. He'll be out. But let's talk about some of the more sexy attackers. Who's drawing the eye there that'll be going to AFCON?
Yeah, I got 5. I think Cunha is a player that, with Mbeumo out, Cunha is a player that can play from the left and from the right. I think all of a sudden he becomes like a nailed-on starter. Yep. Mbeumo is taking lots of shots and kind of become the focal outlet, with Cunha kind of when he's fit and in the side providing kind of that secondary support. So I think all of a sudden
Sesko out for a few more game weeks.
Yeah, so I think Cunha is going to slot right into Mbeumo's position as kind of the chief attacking outlet. Beyond that, I think Grealish and KDH have a high ceiling potential because with Ndiaye out, I think one of them is going to be on penalties, and Everton are a good team. I know,
Solid.
history being a mega influence often colors our FPL play style, but Everton, ever since Moyes came in, they're one of the best 6 teams in the Premier League, and that's why they find themselves all the way at the
Oh
top of the
my
table.
God.
So they're both cheap. You can get them in. One of them's going to have penalties. I think it might be Grealish. So I really like that pick.
Can you believe that KDH is just
Don't
like
start.
on this
Don't start. I love the
legendary
move.
run?
I love the
And
move when it happened. I was there first, one might say.
I would say that what is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's the 6th highest scoring midfielder through the first third of the season.
At
Like
5 million.
20 more points than Salah for 10 million less or some shit. Oh my
It's
goodness.
insane.
Crazy.
All
Good
right.
for him.
Let
Good
me
for
give
him.
two more. So I think
Yep.
Shad, he's going to be on serving his
Shade.
5 yellow card ban this week. He probably is going to be even more undroppable with
Dango
Brentford
out.
losing Dango. So I really think he's also, they might even switch systems to go kind of 2 up top, which they had been test driving a little bit in the last couple of game weeks. So I like that pick. And then last but not least, you mentioned O'Reilly, but I really think Gvardiol is the one who's now all of a sudden scoring goals. And so, listen, if you don't want the risk of kind of a random benching for a relatively new name in the team sheet, I feel like Gvardiol, he's become the Josko of old. He's scoring goals, he's getting clean sheets. Maybe they're not getting clean sheets, but he's getting goals and bonus for sure. So I really like the way he shapes out. And then it's just worth mentioning, some teams don't have to deal with AFCON at all. So that's a really nice place to be. All these other teams are going to be dealing with problems in their squad. And, certain teams don't have to deal with it whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm
Life isn't fair.
just taking a look at a few of these other players. Oh my God, you see like Sunderland might send 8 or 9 out?
Yeah.
That is
But they knew
big
that.
shape
They knew
up.
that. That's why their cushion, the way they add it in the table, is so important.
Yeah, I kind of think that the players going away for Manchester United will make a big difference, like Diallo and Bumo. Like if somebody can really step up there,
Maybe Mason
Mount, like maybe it'll definitely be interesting, especially if like Cunha played up top, would Mason Mount play on the left more? We'll
Probably.
see. We will see. Cool. All right, those are our hashtag FPL community questions. Thanks for hitting us up. Bucks, it's time to wrap up this podcast. I know we're just above your time limit. So let's go to transfer plans and captaincy. Shouts.
Shout
Shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah, I'll
baby.
go
What you
first.
got?
Again, 5 free transfers. I've already used 2. I moved Bumo to Foden. I moved Mateta to Thiago. I'll definitely use at least one more free transfer. I'm eyeing up going either VVD to Hincapie or, either going Munoz to Hincapie or going VVD to Timber as kind of my options. Again,
I like the
would
second
be
route.
priced out of doing the other one reversed. So those are in my mind. Probably I will have to keep VVD if Munoz is flagged. And I was really hoping Munoz would be a season keeper in my team now that I brought him in.
Should be.
But the injury flag is beckoning my movement. Saka is my captain right now. I have the vice will either be on an Arsenal defender or on Erling Haaland. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I definitely rate your move of VVD to Timber. We're going to see a lineup on Thursday from Crystal Palace. They play some shitty team, but we should get a press conference, so we'll learn more about Munoz. At least we know he didn't assault somebody and punch somebody in the face as a 29-year-old football player in
no comment.
England.
Allegedly. I'm married to an attorney. I know better. You're not going to entrap me here, Brian.
No, it wasn't him. It was Ivan Toney, man. We saw
Excuse you.
We saw
trying to get us canceled here. Golly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So, yeah, man, I would just keep Munoz. They are not going to be attacking. They're only going to be grinding clean sheets. They only play defense, no SAR. Like, they're going to be trying to keep a lot of clean. So I like keeping Munoz. All right. And then Saka same for me. Socket cap right now. We'll see how that shakes out.
You make any moves? You go early? You crazy?
Yeah. I made 2 moves already. I moved Semenyo and I moved Indai to KDH and Foden.
Ooh,
Not exciting.
Wow. I love that.
Not that exciting,
love that,
but
actually.
right now, freed up, I think I have another like 0.5 in the bank. So I'm going to be using that money probably on my Anthony Gordon slot over the next couple of weeks. I brought him in for a couple fixtures, but I think he will probably become maybe a Liverpool mid potentially. Game week 18, Liverpool. They have a good run where they're playing Leeds, they're playing Wolves, and they're playing Burnley in like the span of 6 game weeks. So that could be a slot for him. Yeah. So that's a wrap. Let's get out of here, Bucks. Let's call it a day.
Yeah. Again, we would love if you would engage with our podcast. You could follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe. We're trying to get over 200 subscribers by the new year, if at all possible. We're also trying to bring some holiday cheer back for the number one Wolves supporter here on this side of the pond. That's to our co-host, Dan. You can find him at FPL_BlackWolf. Comment when this episode comes out, some kind words to him. That way we know you listened. I am FPL USA Bucks, my co-host and better looking partner in crime. That is at FPL USA Brian. You can find us on social wherever you dabble. We are FPL USA Press Play. Thank you for listening. Best of luck for some green arrows and health, joy, and only good tidings as we enter into the end of 2025. Brian.
That's right.
Close
That's
us
right.
out.
Thanks again for following us. Like Buck said, we're going to go through some of our Spotify Wrapped next pod and shout out a few of the folks who have been listening and paying us a few moments of their attention. So, excited to see how that plays out as we continue to grow. Podcast is doing solid. Please follow us on YouTube, and we will catch you on the other side of Game Week 16. Good luck to those free hitters. Slip in our DMs on X if you're looking for any drafts or any feedback. Bucks, myself, and Black Wolf are all running that account. So if anybody wants to have some banter and maybe a vibe check on their free hit, we'll
chop
be
it
there
up
for you. That's right. All right. Have a good one.
I don't want everyone to know how much K-pop Demon Hunters my family's been listening to. It might get a little embarrassing, but we will do it for the growth of this community. Shout out hashtag FPL USA. Shout out the hashtag FPL community, and best of luck for a really fun midweek of UCL action and a great green arrow in game week 16. Thanks, everyone.
Vamos.